It's always a seller's market. It's going to go up forever and ever, and that's a good thing. Dude, what do they do to educate you about the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Do they tell you the majority of California residents are renters, and that every time housing prices go up, your value, okay, that means rents are going up. That's what the property managers do. That's what the investors do. That's what the speculators do. That's what the flippers do, the gentrifiers, the landlords. Do you get it? They pencil stuff in. It's called simple math. What can I get? What can I get? I'm going to buy up these fixer-uppers and have them fixed up, and I'm going to turn them into boarding houses. Yeah, Airbnb, man. Get everything I can, man. That's all it's about, man. Money, man. Money, 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 money. Don't give me your goody-good BS. Oh, I understand. I understand the heart and mind of people because I am a people. And God understands. If you want to understand, turn to God. Get counsel. You think I'm crazy? Some wild-eyed lunatic that doesn't know what the hell he's talking? Actually, I'm an educated man. I know what I'm talking about. And it's sick. The world we live in is sick and twisted. It's depraved. It's degenerate. It's fallen. We're decadent. And God's wrath hangs heavy over it. I feel it, man. I don't get it. I do not understand why I would ever expend any my energy making a lot of money if I can't enjoy it. If I see the wealth imbalance continue to grow, poverty keeps growing, well, financial insecurity keeps growing, financial freedom keeps being diminished, eroded away, and I'm supposed to well, I know how. I can figure this out. I can do this. I can do this. You know, I put it all together, business plan, and go out, and I make $1 billion. I'm a success. The world loves me, and I can have whatever. And just say, God, it doesn't matter, you know, what you think. No, people don't care. They're cutthroat out there. It's that jump on the bandwagon. Oh, you jumped on the bandwagon of Bitcoin too late. Oh, well. We all made it. We were all, you know, see, I'm not into exclusive prosperity. The only way I want prosperity is on a universal, if everybody can have it. Okay? That's the only way I care about it. And that could work under a truly capitalistic system. But there's people that they are mightily opposed to true capitalism because they know that creates an atmosphere where a rising tide lifts all boats. And that means that everybody gets prosperous together. We share the wealth of the nation. And what happens is your money steadily goes up in worth, and we end up with so much of it. Nobody cares about it anymore. Just gradually would become irrelevant. And that would make the money masters of misery at the top echelons, uppermost echelons, these evil geniuses controlling us, irrelevant. And you know that's the last thing on earth they want. You understand how this thing works? It's all in Scripture. If you want to read, I don't just make stuff up. It's not my opinion. Okay, I get into stuff that's irrefutable. I'm into mathematics. I'm into science. I'm into physics. I'm into facts. I'm into statistics. I'm into the truth. Okay, and just calling a spade a spade. This is the way it is. Okay, we got a tiny critical mass of people that control the affairs of the masses. They literally control our reality. And it's all about money. They want us all focused on that because that's how they control us. It's a very powerful tool, very effective weapon, okay, against the freedom and security of the people at large. Do you understand how this game works? It's sick, it's twisted. Imagine the mainstream media coming out and telling you that the value in the supermarket just keeps going up, and it's a wonderful thing because tiny minority of the people have an interest in it. You understand? So that's great because there's people spewing out, they have relatives. They're spewing out the news telling you. Maybe they themselves have an interest in it. So there's no more, don't conflict of interest me, guy. No way, man. I got stocks in the food industry. Okay? So they could come out and say, or I got relatives. They think to themselves, right? So it's happening on a subliminal, semi-conscious, subconscious level sometimes. These people I don't know what's on their minds, why they do the things they do, what motivates them. I don't own them. I can't get in their heart and mind. Only God can do that. All I know is you got to call a spade a spade. The stuff that's omitted, they don't talk about, is just as important as the stuff they talk about and get us to focus on. The stuff they don't get us. Don't look over here. Don't listen to that guy. He's crazy, but I'm into the facts. I'm into the math. I'm into the truth. You understand? So they can't hold a candle to what I have to tell you, the stuff I have to educate you about. Nothing. So it's always good, right? The value, they tell you the value of the food at the supermarket went up. And you think, what the bleep, right? What are they talking about? But homeowners, that's equity. I get that. In real estate school, they call it an unearned increment. Much like King Solomon would have talked about a ill-gotten gain, you know. Hey, no improvements on the property. It's dilapidated, it's falling apart. But hey, you know what? The demand's up. Why is the demand inordinately up? Well, we keep shipping in young, strong immigrants. Shut up. Shut up. You're mean. You lack compassion. If you don't, shut up. And I'm looking at all the homeless. I'm thinking Native American-born men and women suffering needlessly and dying sometimes out in the cold while I'm spending $50 billion a year on this housing subsidy for the poor that mainstream media won't talk about. The HUD, Housing Authority, the Section 8, that's what I'm referring to subsidize housing costs for poor people. They won't talk about all it's done is serve to exacerbate the problem of unaffordable housing. It's insane. It's insane. This is a fallen nation. And you think God's wrath, just by him lifting his hand of protection, say, okay, have to it, see where you land. But if they think rents don't need to come down, and now they're gonna bail out the landlords now. So they're not gonna ever, and a lot of those landlords took advantage of all those foreclosures in '08. A lot of people became landlords in '08 at that banking bailout. Remember that rash of foreclosures? So they didn't bail any of those people out, but they're bailing out the landlords now with the exorbitant rents and mortgages. There used to be a little thing called rent control. You understand? Nothing. Everything is freaking insane because finally the man of lawlessness is revealed and he doesn't make any sense at all. He's not on your side. If you're a regular human being that wants to live and let live, that wants hope of getting ahead, not just for yourself, but for others. We're in trouble, my friends. That's all I know. And that we need God. I need God. And it's only hope. I mean, I hear some things happening. People are starting to feel the heat out there. They're building tiny houses here and buying up motels here and trying to, do what they can with homelessness and shelters here. And we're going to approve a tent site here. So the hand of God is moving. So, I don't want to be delusionally hopeful. Okay, but I know that eventually the good guys are going to win this thing. And God's the good guy. And all those that are his servants of their own free will and accord, they wouldn't have it any other way. Wild horses couldn't stop the righteous from serving God and his purposes and just praying every day and just cannot wait. They're anxious for God's will to be firmly established, implemented upon the earth, and for humanity to be set free. That's what it's all about, my friends, at the end of the day. It's about setting the captives free. We don't know how good it would feel to be free, free of the money masters of misery. So, my friends, we've got a bandwagon mentality culture of losers whom delusionally think they are winners. And worst of all, they're in charge of policy and drag us along for the sick, twisted, mad ride. So you've got to fundamentally understand my beef with the mainstream media, okay? And what it is just, listen, I want the truth. Okay, I don't want BS. And by ignoring salient points, important points for the public to know, okay, is propaganda in and of itself. It's malinformation, okay? That absence of the truth in reporting, the stuff they're not touching on, is just as critical to understand as the stuff they do touch on. Where they point our focus. You look over here, not over here. Okay, you understand they're dictating the terms of what's important and what's not. And where are they getting their marching orders from? Private individuals own these groups. And I've already pointed out how it's completely 100% A-OK, completely legal to discriminate on political basis. You understand that? So if you are a conservative or if you are a liberal and you own a news media company, you could do whatever you want. And if you want to be discriminating overtly, but that's it, they work through subterfuge. They're sneaky about it. They try to give the appearance that they're not biased. Okay, but indeed a lot of them are. And don't ask me how, because all we have, these are words we're talking about. And there's a lot of people that are pseudo-liberals, they're pseudo-conservatives, they're pseudo-socialists and pseudo-capitalists, but they don't want you to know it. And they want to they're delusional themselves, so they hide it very well. When you're delusional yourself and you really believe your own BS, you trust in, you have faith in your own BS, your belief system, okay, then you're very persuasive because they want to believe it. See, when people want to believe something because it's working in their favor, they see it in working in their favor, their side of the ledger. And then the controllers, they keep the mainstream media people have to be satiated, which means they got to be satisfied with their income, that they're able to maintain at least a middle class life. They want that dignity and respect, and they want that security. They want that sense of prosperity and that sense of freedom, financial freedom. And then they'll spew out whatever they're told. They won't question it. So I can't tell you if there's mainstream media people that are actually evil deep down inside, okay, but they have factors that control them, and that is financial factors. We know that a lot of these people arise to celebrity status with the multi-million-dollar contracts for the syndicated national news and all that. You understand? So the big bucks involved in this game of spewing out the news. And also now, this is a big beef for me, is that these people are supposed to be the cutting-edge educators. Well, what do I mean? They're not teachers. People would retort to me. And I'd say, wait a minute. Do you see the similarity between education and information? What is education? When you're being educated, you're being what? Informed. So there is a definite correlation between what is information and what is education. And then you can say also by extension, knowledge is involved. Knowing, being learned is part of that. You understand? So yes, they have a job. These are the cutting edge, the day-to-day. You want to be informed about world events, current events, what's going on in your town locally or halfway around across the planet. Well, then you got to come to us. You got to learn from us. You understand? It's sick, man. I mean, I cannot believe they've been able to ride this thing as long as they have. But I think they know they've reached the end of their rope. And thank God for that, for the younger generations, that you don't have to witness what I have my entire life, watching America go down the tubes. To use the analogy of trying to boil frogs, you got to get them in the pot, and you got to turn up the heat nice and slow so they don't get alarmed and jump out of the pot. And what do I mean about that? Look, in the early 60s, when minimum wage was a buck an hour and you could live a middle-class life, one spouse could stay home, take care of the family, take care of the house, okay, and be a homeowner. Middle-class life on a minimum wage job, $1 an hour. And then let's say they tried to come out the next day and tell everybody, because later, 60 years later, this is what we've got. You understand? They came out, they said, you're still going to get that $1 an hour. In fact, we'll give you a raise because of the cost of living. We'll give you $1.10 an hour. So stop being greedy, you minimum wage workers. But guess what? The value of the houses went up so much that, you know what? Your $1.10 an hour, now it's worth 2 or 3 cents at the most, buying power. And you think that the American people wouldn't have hopped out of the pot? Again, the analogy of the frogs in the pot of water. They would have gotten the hell out, all of us at large. But now our interests are so helter-skelter, so divided, so discombobulated, so balkanized. People, we're in trouble. So we're cooked. I've had to watch this pot boil a long time. We're cooked. It's done. Max and Kaiser talking about inflation can't happen. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. Do you understand the whole thing? That would break the dam. That's it. That's it, man. That would be the straw that broke the camel's back. We cannot have more cost of living inflation. Raising minimum wage is not the answer. That's a scam. Okay, it's a two-way street. If the cost of living goes down, your wages should go down too. You understand? They don't want you to figure this stuff out. It's not the president's job to set minimum wage, telling you $15 an hour. You think $15 an hour, is that adequate for one person working in your household, in your community, to live a middle-class life? One spouse stays home, takes care of the house,